Okay, we're going to go over tangent law, which is a different form of a way to solve for a non-right angle triangle, or a right angle triangle for that matter. When you name a triangle, you need to name opposite sides, or in this case for this law, we've named the opposite angle and the opposite side the same letter, just the lowercase represents the side and the uppercase represents the angle. In this version, we're going to use tangent law to solve for a side. Okay, so solve for a side. Okay. And here's the law to our right here. Now, I'm going to choose a triangle that we're probably somewhat familiar with because I didn't prep a special one. I'm going to use this one here. It's going to have some measurements on it. And to solve for a side with tangent law, we need to have two angles inside the triangle. So I'm going to call this 60 degrees, and I'll call this 30 degrees. Okay, and we need a side on the outside. So maybe this will be my this one will be 3 meters in length, and the rest will be our unknown. Maybe you call this x, this y. And now technically, and this is something we normally use sine law to solve for historically. We have an opposite ratio, so we have an opposite side, an opposite angle. We could use our 60 to solve for our unknown side here, correct? We're going to use tangent law in this case, and normally, well, you can really only know either one angle in a triangle or all of them. So if we know 2 of the angles, we tactically know 3 of them, okay? Because you can use the 2 together, subtract from 180 to find out the other. So in this case, obviously, we have a 90-degree angle, which I already drew in. This is going to be 90 degrees, okay? So we're going to use it to solve. We'll have to rename things A, B, C. So I'm not going to call them X and Y. We're going to call things A, B, C, just like we have in our example here. So let's call this our angle A. So that makes this side A. This will be my angle B, which makes this my side B. And like most right angle triangles, here's our side C. That works out pretty good. So let's plug into our tangent law and see how we can solve this. Our side A is 3 meters. Okay, so we have 3. Subtract. Our side B is unknown, so we're going to keep that as B. Divided by side A again, which is 3, plus side B, which again is our unknown. And that is going to be equal to tan of 1/2. Our angle A is 30. Subtract our angle B, which is 60 in this case. Okay, and I guess I'll write that in as colorful. There's our 60. Okay. And then that same information is written on the bottom just a little differently. Tan of 1/2 multiplied by 30 plus 60 in this case. Okay. So we're going to kind of go through the steps to isolate for our unknown, which is B. Okay. So on the left side of our equation, there's not much we can do. We still have 3 minus B divided by 3 plus B is equal to, we're looking for tan of 30 minus 60 is negative 30 times half is negative 15. Okay, so we're looking for tan of negative 15 divided by, in this case, 30 plus 60 is 90 times half is 45. So tan of 45 in this case. So we're going to find out what those two numbers are and put them on our calculator here. So we have negative 15. Oh, so 15 negative 10 gives us negative 2.67. Let's write down that. Negative 0.267. I think I said that wrong the first time, but that's the number we got. And tan 45, 10 is equal to 1, which you may have already known. Okay, so because we're dividing by 1, that is essentially the value we have. It's going to be equal to 3 minus B divided by 3 plus B. So now we just go to isolating for our unknown. And in this case, we're going to move the entire bottom side, our 3 plus B, to the other side of the equation, which means we're going to be multiplying by 3 plus B. Okay, so when we move that to the other side, it essentially becomes distributive property. So we'll read 3 minus B is equal to negative 0.267 times 3 plus B. Okay. So we'll distribute that value to both numbers inside of the bracket. Let's make sure. I'm going to double check that again, that it was negative 15 10. Yeah, that's the right number. Great. So we're going to multiply that by 3. So negative 0.8, we'll round it to. So equals negative 0.8. And here we'll have negative 0.267b. On this side, we'll have 3 minus b. So we're going to collect our like terms. I'm going to move this b to the other side of the equation, so it becomes plus b. And the negative 0.8 will move over here, so it becomes plus 0.8. So we'll end up with 3.8 is equal to b minus 0.267b. Okay? 3.8 will be equal to, we'll have to figure out 1 subtract that number. So 1 subtract 0.267 equals 0.733, so 0.733b. And to isolate for b, we bring this over and divide it on the other side, and that will give us our final b value. We'll write it down here. B will be equal to 3.8 divided by that. 3.8 divided by 0.733 equals 5.18. 5.18. So what that means is our unknown b side is roughly 5.18 meters. And you can kind of use it again to solve for side C. But there's your tangent law.